How's it going, everyone? We're back finally with the top skin videos, and thanks for bearing with me not being here, everyone. I just have a lot going on with my life, and personally, stuff going on, and my health, my mental health, everything has just been beaten down because of it. But I'm on the up, and I think things are going better. So thanks for that, everyone, and thank you for your well wishes. So let's get into the video. For anyone that is new, these skins are not in the game. You can't buy them. You may never be able to buy them. These are just a preview of skins that meet the quality set by the developers that could potentially make it in. Only 8 to 10 or so skins make it in every week. So you can turn back in on Thursdays to see which skins actually pop in. As we get into it, we've got some ponchos for you, and the first one here is a solid gold poncho for you. Pretty straightforward. I mean, hey, there it is. Solid gold poncho. Next, we've got a deer mask and a poncho for you, and it is the Forest Guardian set. As you can see here, it's made out of various leaves, and then you've got the kind of like stump or wooden bark pieces that make up the horns and antlers and the carving of the mask. Next, we've got a continuation in the cactus set with the hide shirt or vest, whatever you want to call it, and hide pants, which are also pretty much shorts. But hey, there you go. If you ever want to look like a cactus with a nice budding bloom, here you have it. Next, we've got some hoodies and pants, and the first one up is the Space Foil set. And we've had this so far pop in on some deployables, but yet to see kind of clothing or gun or anything like that. So maybe this might be the first chance. I could definitely see some people wanting to rock this set. Next, we've got a pretty badass looking set here with an all white clean looking hoodie and pants with some gray trim and then these amazing looking snakes on it. These vipers are very cool looking and they curve all around. You have a nice kind of viper snake kind of design there on the hoodie on the back. Definitely a very cool looking set. Even has some dog tags with some skull and crossbones. Next, we've got a hoodie and pants set that's pretty simple here. It's a zebra set, and the whole thing just makes you look like a zebra. It even has a little zebra head on the hoodie. So there you go, definitely a funny one. Next, we've got a professional hoodie and pants set for you, and it is a rework of the old set, but it definitely looks nice with the update and so forth. Definitely has that kind of, you know, professional, but nice little kind of leather jacket going on alongside with it. Next, we have a pretty crazy looking set, is the Obscure set, and it comes in two versions, the white and gold and the black and gold. So I put the white hoodie on and the black pants so you can see both. So there we go. Definitely a very unique design. And I think it's pretty well executed. I think I personally like the black. It really pops with the gold quite a bit, but then we have so many black and gold things that it might be nice to kind of see this version. Our last hoodie and pants set for you this week is Cobra Strike, and this whole thing has a very kind of action hero kind of look to it. Very unique. Also has a very kind of sports vibe. I could see maybe like a motocross something going along with this, and if you look at the back, it has a cobra head that kind of pops from the hoodie, and the spine kind of maybe looks like a cobra's neck flare and so forth. I think they did a good job on how they portrayed that. Next, we've got a bucket helmet for you, and it is the Insulation Bucket Helmet. You can even see through it, which I think is hilarious. And then just the whole thing has the silver insulation around it. Definitely a very funny looking bucket helmet that I could see fitting right in. Next, we have some gloves and boots for you, part of the Green Army Man set. As you'll see here, the whole thing is meant to look like the kind of Army Man thing going on. If you come on down to the boots, they definitely look very plasticky, and I think the design is just done very well, like the rest of the set. Next up, we have another set of gloves and boots for you, and of course, they're part of the reptile set. The gloves are quite neat because the knuckles are made to look like claws, which I think is pretty well done. And then if we look down the boots, they kind of took off that kind of steel toe look and made the toes look like they also have claws as well. Next, we've got some road sign for you, and it is version 2 of the Elite Crate set. And as you can see here, it's been updated with a little more details to the texture and so forth. It looks like it is so clean, it pops really nicely, and I know the rest of the set has been very popular. So I know if this popped into the store, a lot of people would be pretty happy. Last but not least, we have a single high qual set for you. The Pixel set was also for this week, but as you saw, it got accepted last week, or well, is in the store currently. So we've got the Dark Lord set for you. It's got this very fancy carved metal face mask, which I think is very, very mean and badass looking. And then we've got a matching kind of chest piece to go along with it. Next up, we've got our deployables for you, and the first one here is the Inuit sleeping bag, and the whole thing kind of looks like it's made out of polar bear teeth or claws and fur. Definitely a very cool winter design. Then over here, we've got some boxes for you, and we've got quite a few, so we're going to kind of speed through them. They should look quite familiar to you at this point. The CRT wood box here. Then over here, we've got a creative little box that actually looks like the supermarket. I think they did a really good job at that, and it's definitely a cool and creative idea. Then over here, we've got a set that should look familiar, the Forgotten Tombs large box. We did see the door, so maybe we'll see the box pop into the shop. We'll just have to see. Next over here, we've got a twofer. This one is the container box by Killer Bee, and it's got a version that is labeled for guns, and then a version without a label. Moving on, we've got another box for you here. This one has some wood carvings and burns it looks into it. This is the Flaming Gothic large box, and I definitely love how it looks like they actually did a wood burning technique for the design. Then over here we've got some crazy squiggly box with gears for you. These are the Gears Puzzle Box by Mercy, coming in a silver and a gold variation. Then over here we've got a couple furnaces. The first one here is the, well, Satan furnace. I mean, there you go. Straight up just, there you go. Next over here we've got the Capybara furnace, and I think that face might haunt me in my dreams, just like some of the other crazy furnace faces out there. Next, we've got one more furnace for you, and this one has some beautiful extreme details to it. This is the Medieval Furnace by Micro, and yeah, just the whole details to the set just look so crisp and beautiful. Then over here, we've got a silly little target for you, a practice target, excuse me, for a fake scientist for you. Then we've got some rugs, and the first rug here is to make your entire roof look like the plywood that comes with the shipping container. It has two versions, one with like a rust kind of decal on it, and then the other one just plain. Then over here we have another rug that just makes everything look like some beautiful wood flooring or paneling. Next one that looks like a little exit sign that does actually glow, which we'll show you here once we get to that part. And lastly, we've got a 3-color version that makes kind of a metal mesh, which looks quite cool. Moving on, we've got doors for you. The first couple here are going to be some wooden doors, so we'll start with the front and then we'll do a scan of the backs of them. So first off here, we've got a door for you. It is the Rampage door. Then over here we have something that looks like it's an old bathroom door or something like that. The Dive Bar bathroom door. Well, there you go. Moving on, we've got a sound studio door for you with a wooden noise isolation door. Second to last for our wooden doors, we've got a fake armored door here, and armored PNG. It's basically they printed out an armored door and then, you know, tacked it up, and you can see the tacks and where the paper is torn. So definitely a funny little gimmick there. And last, we have a very kind of regal, very, I feel Irishy looking door, the Wooden Door of Old Palace. So there you have that. We'll go ahead and take a look at the backs of all these. Full deep in your, Anyways, oh, there I am. Whee! And I definitely like the bones on this one. Very cool. So if we cruise on down, we've got a couple of sheet metal doors for you, literally just only two. First one is the sneaker metal door, and I get what they're doing with it, but it looks a little bit weird. I don't know, does this really work with you guys? I think it's an odd concept to try to do on a door. They executed it well, but I think it just still looks weird as a door. But hey, that could be me. There might be a ton of you guys out there that like it. Over here, we've got a couple of container doors, and these are kind of just piling on. Some people are just making a different color every week, and I'm just kind of going to stack those in the old weeks. So this does have several different variations. I think 4 different colors. I put 2 in this week's list if you want to see the rest of them down in the comment section below. Then we've got some double sheet doors for you. Actually, just one. It's the Vacation sheet metal door, which definitely has some nice little tropical vibes going on. And then we've got 2 garage doors for you. The first one here is the Sunken Cursed Pirate Door. Definitely has a very nice old pirate ship look to it. Barnacles and algae growing all over it. Some sea stars. Definitely very cool. And then we've got this crazy kind of monster thing going on here. It has a glow and a non-glowing version as the Hazardous Mirage. So we'll go ahead and kill the lights, and oh man, definitely creepy. Moving on, we got the vacation door for you. The next we've got our exit rug. We can cruise on over to our furnaces. The first two only really have the normal kind of furnace glow to them, and then I would say this one has quite a bit going on. Especially with these creepy hands that kind of just show up once you see it lit up at night. Then we've got a couple boxes that glow. We've got the Gothic one. And then if we come all the way down to the beginning here, we've got the CRT wood box as well. Alright, let's get to our tools and weapons. And first off, we've got the Hammer from Hell, version 2. And yeah, there you go. And of course, like everything else in the set, it definitely glows as well. Moving along, we've got a rock for you, and it's actually a really cool concept. It's literally just a piece of a high qual node, or metal node, whatever you want to call it. You can see the kind of glisten there, and yeah, it just kind of fits, you know? Then we've got a couple of tool sets for you. The first one here is the Kevlar set. You can see why, of course. It looks like the blades or so forth are kind of coated in Kevlar. And of course, it has a matching pick to go with it, with the same kind of nice gold trim. Then we've got a set that's quite on the opposite track here, and very, very well done. This is the Apache set. Definitely love the carve out on here. And there's the matching pick. Next we've got a bone knife for you, and this one is made to look like a seashell that was carved into a shiv, and I think they did a pretty good job at that. Then we've got another sword here, and this salvage sword is all iced up with a icy eye staring back at you. This thing is just done absolutely amazing. Be honestly, personally disappointed if this doesn't make it in the shop this week. Next we've got another pretty cool looking blade for you. This is also a salvage sword and is made to look like a completely different sword entirely. The Curry? I can never say that right. I always butcher things. You guys know how I am. Anyway, moving on, we've got a bow for you, and it's from the Chew Toy set, as you can see, with the bright colors. Aiming down the sights here. We'll do a little spin, catch that different light. Then we've got a couple crossies for you. The first one here has some blue kind of scaling going on along it, and it is the Akiva crossbow. We'll go ahead and pull back the blue string there for a reload. Then the last in this set, we've got the other crossbow for you, which actually kind of just looks like a kind of made of trash crossbow that someone drew with lovingly, you know, little blossoms alongside it. And of course, is called the Blossom crossbow. Has kind of a silvery drawstring, as you can see, and there we have it. Next, we've got a water pipe for you, and this one is part of a very popular set. Should look quite familiar to you. It is the modern military water pipe. Aim down the sights, you've got a nice red tip, and there's that reload. Next, we've got a couple of Ravies for you, and this first one has a bright hot tip to it. It is the Iron Fire Revolver. We do have a really old revolver skin that does kind of have a burning tip, so that might cancel this one out, but you never know. It has been many years. Next, we have another Revy for you. As I said, there's quite a few, and this one kind of has a more gilded look to it. Is the Royalite Revolver. Aiming down the sights here, you've got kind of just coppery gold sights. Next, we've got some pythons, and this one has a very cool look to it. Now, it is called the Glory Python. Now, there is a old retired set that is called Glory, so the name would definitely have to be changed if it popped in. But it just has this really sleek look that I think a lot of people would like. A lot of these kind of skins that kind of have a more esports feel don't really make it into Rust often, so when they do, there's definitely quite a few people that want to grab them. Next, we've got another Python for you, and, well, it is the Python Nana, I believe, is what they went with. Yes, Python Nana. Had to check on that one. This set's definitely been very popular, and most pieces have made in, so I wouldn't be surprised if this one popped in this week. It does look like the tip might kind of glow there, but it doesn't. They just kind of gave it a nice effect to make it stand out. Last in this group, we've got a sap for you, and this one has a nice kind of scaled look to it. This is the Rest Style Semi-Automatic. Aiming down the sights, there's an eye staring right back at you, and some black-colored iron sights for you. Next, we've got Tommy for you, and it should look pretty familiar as it's part of the popular El Diablo set. As usual, it is something that looks like it glows, but it doesn't, so it wouldn't give you away at night. Aiming down the sights here, you've got the same kind of embers with a black charcoaly tip. Next, we've got a custom for you, and the whole thing looks like it's made out of wood with gears. It's a very unique kind of look to it. Definitely very cool. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a giant gear and some wooden tips to your sight. And that's the mechanism SMG. Next, we've got a bunch of MP5s for you. Starting off here, we've got kind of a toxic looking one with the Plague MP5. Aiming down the sights, you've got some crusty, rusty looking red and green for contrast. Whoa, okay, next we've got another MP5. Told you there's a few more. This one has a very clean look to it, is the Military Stealth MP5. I think it lives up to that name quite a bit. It has a blue tip, but I do wish there's maybe a symbol or maybe a bit of cutout there on the back. It's a little plain, because it definitely looks very plain compared to the rest of the details there. Next, we've got another MP5 for you, and this one's made to look like it is out of marble, and is simply, well, the marble MP5. That should be pretty straightforward. Aiming down the sights here, you've got marble versus black for the sight. Then we've got another MP5 for you. This one here has a kind of like a red and orange kind of camo. It's mostly orange kind of thing going on. Depends how the light hits it there, really. And it's the Savage Orange MP5. Aiming down the sights here, you've got, again, the kind of that almost reddish orange brick, let's call it brick red kind of color, versus the faded brighter orange for the sight. And there's that reload. Next, we've got another MP5. I said there's quite a few, and this one is the Building Plan Blueprint MP5. And the whole thing looks like it's covered in or made out of the building plan from the game. Aiming down the sights here, you've got a black tip versus that kind of building plan, sky blue versus the darker blue. Next, we've got another MP5. I told you there's a few, and this one has a very kind of Fortnite vibe to it. This is the MP5 Checkper. There you go. Aiming down the sights, you've got a red versus the gray. And there's a reload for ya. Moving on, we've got some SARs, and the first one here has a very racing kind of vibe, and it's the Petrochemicals SAR. As you can see, it's Oxum Petrochemicals on there, and then it says gasoline on the back. You've got some faded orange iron sights there. Next, we've got another SAR for you, and as part of the Ruins set, you can see the beautiful gem there, and sorry, the Artifact SAR, my mistake. And yeah, Artifact, Ruins, there's a couple different cool ones out there. This has some beautiful sculpting, just like the other set, but the big difference is the kind of color, the shininess, and then the big old ruby. How can you miss that? And of course, you've got a nice red, ruby red tip to go along with it. Next, we've got some AKs, and this first one should be pretty recognizable, as is the Redemption AK. This set has been pretty popular, so wouldn't be surprised if we saw the AK pop in as well. Aim down the sights here, you've got that red versus the black, as the rest of the set has. And we can go ahead and pop that reload for you. Last in this set, we've got a very different AK, and this one is basically just completely rusted up. It is the Corrosion AK-47. This thing, I don't know if it's even safe to fire it, but hey, you still have a little bit of white paint left on the tip there, and some scratches, so hey, maybe you're good, right? Next, we've got a continuation with the chemical burn set with the AK. This has also been a very popular set, so there's definitely some contesting AKs this week. Aiming down the sights, as usual, you have that silver versus the kind of polymer material going on there. Next, we've got another AK for you, and this one is very, very different. It is the Behemoth AR by Vase, and this thing is just all sorts of sculpted up and crazy looking. It even has a little bit of a different color depending on how the light hits it. Aiming down the sights, you've got very cool sights with this almost a glowing green to the tips, but it doesn't glow. There we go with that reload. Next, we've got another AR for you, and this one has a bird on it for you. This is the Plague AR, and yeah, crows are usually gone with plagues and associated with it there, and as you can see, you kind of got that Plague Doctor Crow mask with that eye going on. Definitely quite cool. Aiming down the sights, you've got a skull and some silver versus black for the tips. Next, we've got another AR for you, and it is a continuation in the Riot set. We have seen a piece make it in, so we might also, again, another AK in contest for this week. Aiming down the sights there, you can see the skull and soldier kind of helmet going on with the green and silver tips. Next, we've got another AR for you, and this one is made up to look like a vending machine in game, and it actually worked out really well. And the whole thing kind of looks beat up and fits right into rust. Aiming down the sights, it's very rusty with some fading white paint and a nice red tip, though, for you to focus right in with. Next, we've got a Bolty for you, and it's been a while since we've had a few Bolties, but then again, we don't always get too many compared to like AKs and so forth. This is the, of course, HQM Bolty. Been a very popular set, so hey, maybe this will give this Bolty a good chance this week. We'll just have to see how that goes on Thursday. Last but not least, we've got an M249 for you, and there it goes. It pops right in. It is the Comics M249. So there you got that rat-a-tat-tat on the side, and there's always a little smiley hidden somewhere. So, wait, where is that smiley? When we go ahead and pop a reload, is it in there? Am I blind and not seeing the smiley this time? Oh, there it is. It is on the ammo box. There we go. So, there we have it, everyone. Sound off down in the comment section below. Which ones are you hoping will make it in this week the most? And thanks for the well wishes as I've been gone. That's been very kind of all of you. It's good to be back. We'll see you on Thursday with the picks. Stay rusty and have a good one.